What's up, what's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm tryna give me a bag. 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 I'm tryna give me a bag.
What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka CEO Sonny, aka the kid that did. And I'm here with my brother, Mr. Make a Play. What's up, bro? Talk to us. Man, you finna be heading out to Florida soon, huh?
Yes, sir. A little vacation on the beach, you feel me? Gotta reward myself after this tough senior year.
I'm knowing it was, bro. But they don't call you Mr. Make a Play for no reason, huh?
No cap.
Nah, for real. Well, here at FY Fly, we like to start off the show with a meaningful quote about money. Y'all know this is a show about financial literacy. And financial literacy at its simplest is understanding not only how to budget your money, but being able to save and grow your money effectively and efficiently. So today my quote comes from Mobile Home Girl. Mobile home investing gives me time to do what I want to do, not have to do. So today we'll be talking about one of the most uncommon ways to become a millionaire in real estate, mobile home investing. Byron Sellers and his queen Shawnice have literally pioneered the wave of mobile home investing for our minority communities. So today Remy G and me are going to chop it up about how mobile home investing can be an easier avenue into the real estate game compared to traditional real estate. And then we're going to slide into our insightful interview so B Sellers can put us on game about mobile home investing. Y'all ready? Well, let's get active. So mobile home investing is definitely an uncommon way to become a millionaire.
Yeah, bro. The first things I think of when I hear mobile homes are trailer parks and 8 Mile.
Nah, for real. That's what a lot of people think, including myself. But you have to realize, bro, an asset is an asset, period.
And for those who may be confused on what an asset is is anything that makes you money, while a liability is anything that takes away your money.
Facts, General. And that's so important to know because B Sellers took an unconventional liability like a mobile home and found a way to turn it into an asset that makes money for him. And that's some of the things that y'all can really take away from today's episode is whether it's a mobile home, traditional home, your own business, vending machines, ATMs, we got to start spending our money on things that will make us more money. So mobile homes can be an easier avenue into real estate because your assets under management are not as large as they will be with traditional real estate.
Hey, bro, we really just assumed everyone knew what a mobile home was.
Facts. That's my fault.
You good, bro. I was doing some research before the show and found that only 39% of millennials and Gen Z knew that mobile homes were an affordable housing option.
That's crazy, so I guess y'all really haven't watched 8 Mile then.
Chill out, bro. So a mobile home is a factory-built home that is designed with a steel frame and a chassis, which is what allows a mobile home to be mobile.
These type of homes are different from regular homes because a regular home is not moving once it's built, unless somebody tears it down. A mobile home, as y'all could tell by the first word, mobile, can move. Now, some homes can be easier to move than others. Some of them cost thousands of dollars to move, and some are even permanent.
There are a few different options when it comes to buying a mobile home. You can buy a parked home that's already on a landlord's property and rent it out to people, or you can buy a new mobile home and pay a landlord to put it on their property to rent it out.
Or you could buy a new home and some land, rent out your new mobile home while charging other folks to use your land you just acquired.
Hold on now. That's how you make a play.
No cap. So let's compare the difference in price between a mobile home and a house. On average, you can get a mobile home built for $49 per square foot compared to a home where you can get it built for $107 per square foot. And this is why I say you can get into this form of real estate investing easier than traditional methods.
Nah, for real. To give an example, the average cost of a new home was $427,900. Now, the average cost of a new mobile home is $53,800. So we're talking about the regular home first. Then we're talking about using the FHA loan. So now we can purchase the house with a 3.5% down instead of that minimum of 20.
So 3.5% of $427,000 is $12,800 compared to 3% of a mobile home, which is only $1,600. So with that being said, on average, you can get into a mobile home for $11,000 cheaper than a traditional home.
Major play there. But another good reason to look into mobile home investing is because the house maintenance is on the tenants, not the landlords. If you talk to a lot of investors who rent out homes, one of their biggest complaints is having to deal with tenants repairs. Most landlords usually have to make the repairs themselves or spend some of their rental profit on expenses. Well, with mobile homes, you don't even got to worry about all that.
Okay, but bro, we got to touch back on the negative stigma surrounding mobile homes. We can't just have our people out here thinking everything peaches and cream, huh?
You're right, CEO. So, of course, there's always some downside or negatives to anything. Some of the negatives you should know about mobile home investing are depreciation, possibility of having to purchase the land along with the mobile home, and limited financing.
So just as a car or a vehicle depreciates, so does a mobile home. So why is this such a bad thing? Because if you plan on reselling your property, you'll be selling it for less than you bought it for. But there's always a play that can be made now. So if you were to buy that land along with the mobile home park, with the proper upkeep, the mobile home will appreciate because the land will be appreciating as well. So definitely keep that in mind, but also realize the key words that we said. You may have to buy the land and the mobile home, which could be a downfall for some early investors who are really trying to get in this game for as cheap as possible.
Trust us, we feel you. The next thing to be cautious about is the sometimes limited financing options available in the mobile home investing game. These limited options are based on a few factors of that specific mobile home.
So if your mobile home is stationary, meaning ain't no wheels on that joint, then you may be able to qualify for some of the same type loans you would as a traditional home. So to dive a little deeper, the two big determinants is if the mobile home is considered real property or personal property. So this quote comes from nolo.com. It says real property is defined as land and anything that is attached to it as permanent. Personal property is anything that is movable and not classified as real property.
Makes sense. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind when making that mobile home investment play. Is the home stationary or can it hop on the road and go? Nevertheless, mobile homes are still a great play. We're going to tell y'all real quick why mobile homes are useful and to this day help millions of people with affordable housing. The first reason is obvious. Look what we just went through in 2020. COVID-19 had a tremendous impact on people's lives and financial situation. We're going to be feeling the financial effects of COVID for years to come, bro.
Yeah, bro. In terms of the affordable housing crisis, banks have even been slow to dish out new loans to get homes built because renters during this time are looked at as high risk to not being able to pay back their rent.
Facts, bro. Because according to Bloomberg.com, the delinquency rate of homes have jumped from 1% to 7% during the pandemic.
Exactly. And that's where mobile homes play a huge role in filling that gap of the affordable housing crisis. Man, I even seen a statistic. Since 2012, the average price of a home has risen nearly 50%. So there's no question mobile homes are a great investment. For one, you can get into a mobile home with as low as 3% down compared to an average of 20% down on a regular house. For two, you'll be making a difference in someone's life who may have fallen on hard times due to eviction, job loss, or even COVID.
Man, the fact that you can actually sit there and know that you're helping to provide a roof over someone's head who needs it, what's better than that? And can't forget about the reduced competition while everyone is flooding the traditional real estate market. You could be making a killing from these mobile home plays.
Yes, sir. I was going to say ain't nothing wrong with being a big fish in a little pond. But with 22 million people living in mobile homes, I couldn't even call that a little pond for real. So we're going to take a quick break and then slide into our insightful interview with the mobile home master, Mr. Byron Sellers. Let's go. Hold on now. You haven't heard about Anchor. It's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. They have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can also make money from your podcast, whether you have 200 listeners or 2,000. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Let's go. What's up, my fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. And today we're speaking with the mobile home maniac, the mobile home monster, Mr. Byron Sellers, man. How you doing, boss?
Oh, man, I'm tremendously blessed, man. Happy to be above ground and blessed to be on this podcast with you, King.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're happy to have you.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So tell us a little more about you, your background, and how you got started in the business.
Yes, for sure, man. So, man, I grew up in a town called Hazel Crest, Illinois, a south suburb of Chicago. Man, I graduated 4 years of college, played basketball in college, went into the corporate world and transportation, was in the corporate world for 10 years. Mm-hmm. And, just kind of knowing my purpose, it was something much stronger than what it was. And I remember just, I got to a point where I was hanging out with friends, man. I was just getting high and playing 2K every day. And I was like, man, this ain't really life right now, man. I know there's more to it. And that's when I kind of did some soul searching and just dive right into personal development. And man, I was about 2016, and it took some years. And man, March 3rd, 2017 was the day I was fired from my job. And that was the day I decided, like, you know what, I'm gonna go with this entrepreneurship full speed. And before that, you know, I had did a lot of investing in myself. I spent close to over $15,000 in credit cards just on personal development, seminars and workshops, life coaching. And that really prepared me for the next chapter. And, you know, before I got into mobile home investing, I was driving Lyft just to pay the bills. And I came across a podcast about mobile home investing. The passengers I had didn't want to listen to it, so I sent it over to my queen. And man, I mean, she was so excited when I came home. And we was like, okay, you know, let's try it. Let's do this. We got nothing else to lose. I had already been broke. Man, my car got repoed. Credit was bogus. I had nothing else to lose, and man, we dove straight in, and we had success. We had purchased 2 mobile homes for $4,300. We flipped them around in less than 45 days, made $19,500. We knew that we was onto something, and man, that took off. And then after that, we was like, you know what, we got to teach people this. And so November 2018, that's when we launched Mobile Home Elite Investors. And from there, man, we not only been educators, we've been investors since then.
Man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So tell us about the biggest lesson that you learned during that journey.
Yeah, man. So the biggest lesson I learned was don't wait on nobody. Don't wait on nobody. I think a lot of ventures I had before, I was waiting on people, waiting on the perfect time, and there was no perfect time. And, you know, for us, we don't get me wrong, we have people in our ear like, man, y'all need to do at least 100 deals before y'all put around an educational program. And it was like, nah, the people need this. This is what we gonna do, right? And that's one of my things. I'm glad I didn't listen to people, and you know, we put things out there, and again, that has opened up so many doors, just educating people.
So what motivates you every day to wake up and go get it?
Man, just how precious life is. You know, I really look at, you know, I wake up every day, and just thank God, just, you know, for being alive. You know, I don't take for granted the little things as, you know, as far as walking and talking and things like that. So honestly, it's just the fact that I'm breathing. And so I'm, you know, I literally just utilize this time that I have and be blessed for every moment. And I realize that, you know, like they always say, I'm too blessed to be stressed.
Yeah.
There's no time for that. I just want to enjoy my life and, you know, make the most out of it.
Facts. So what do you have to say to those people who aren't as motivated to get up and go get it and start that business and really venture out to do things that they have always wanted to do?
Yeah, you got to tap in with self. You know, you really got to sit down, kind of get some quiet time and really start, you know, what is my purpose, right? What am I here on this earth to do? And when you start really tapping in, you know, it may not something, whether it's a business venture, long as it's in line with your purpose. Because for example, I joke around, people say, if God would have showed me mobile homes and be like, yo, Byron, this is what you're going to be doing 5 years ago, I'd be like, come on, God, for real. Give me the multifamilies. Why you going to put me in mobile homes, you know? But again, he had a different cause for me. And I love, you know, being with people. I love teaching people. So it all definitely worked out. So at the end of the day is, you know, really just tap in to find your purpose. And once you find that purpose, it's going to fuel you. No matter what they put in front of you, you're going to find something that's in line with your purpose to keep on motivating you.
Man, let's jump right into these mobile homes, man. Why has this business thrived so well for you, and how can others follow in your footsteps? Yeah,
for sure. So one thing I didn't realize at the beginning, I didn't understand how much of the affordable housing crisis that we were solving. You know, don't get me wrong. I thought I led with the money, and it was different, and I wanted to do real estate. But as I tapped in there, I realized that, you know, it's a huge cost, especially now after COVID, for affordable housing. And every family that we've ever sold a home, they literally either been in tears, giving us hugs, just so thankful for their new house. And that's when it shifted. Like, you know what, we really doing God's work, because we in something, we're showing, you know, something that's totally different, and we're helping people to have something affordable and have ownership. And, you know, I think that right there was kind of like the wake up call for me. Like, hey, you know what, my calling is within this affordable housing.
So as far as capital, how much is needed to get started?
Yeah, so man, that's a good question. So really, it depends on where you are in the country. I think a great number would be 15,000 if I had to be kind of universal around the country. Because in California, you can find a gym for under 15 grand, and I know you're down in Florida near Miami. Again, you can find something under 15 grand, even in the highest East Coast. But I mean, literally depends on your market. You can start as low as 5,000, and you can even get started with no money down with wholesaling in this business as well.
Man, go ahead and tap into that wholesaling. How can we do that? My audience need to know, man.
Yeah, for sure. So the good thing about wholesaling a mobile home, you don't have the same laws and rules as, attached to, again, with traditional houses, right? Since it's not a high level of competition right now in mobile home investing, you're not really worrying about somebody coming and getting your buyer and, have to get them under contract. So honestly, what you're doing is, the biggest thing is you're helping sellers find buyers, right? A lot of mobile home sellers, I'm gonna give you guys a gem. When you're talking to sellers, you want to ask them, how are you selling your home, right? What ways are you selling your home? And they may say, well, I got this for sale sign, I'm on Facebook. And then what you want to do is you want to start naming a lot of stuff, right? Hey, are you using Let Go? Are you using OfferUp? Are you using Craigslist? Are you using Realtor.com? And when they hear, they like, no, right? But most people don't want to do the work. So now you can say, well, hey, listen, this is what I do. I can help you, sell your home. I have a list of buyers. And right before you say that, right, you have a list of buyers. What you really want to do is you want to go out there, bandit signs. You can go out there and put We Buy Mobile Homes. You want to start building your buyers list, right? So you want to start going into different groups, finding people who are looking for housing and saying, hey, would you be interested in mobile homes? People who are looking for apartments inside of, these communities, hey, are you interested? Start collecting their email, collecting data. So now when you have that home from a buyer potentially, right? Now you can blast that home out. Now you have potential buyers already lined up. So the goal is to marry the seller and the buyer. So if you already have those buyers, now when you approach the seller, it makes them more confident. Because how long you been trying to sell your house for? If they say, a few months, okay, well, cool. Let's work together. My service is free. That's what people love hearing. And now you get paid on the back end. So if they're selling their house for $10,000, you can sell a house for, let's say, $14,000, right? Find a buyer. Then at the end of the day, all you're doing is you need 2 bill of sales to close. You agree, you can get on that. And if you honestly, what I tell people, since it's not that much competition, you can get your seller in a purchase agreement. All right, or have some type of agreement with them, just like a traditional wholesale. So you agree with the price, and then you want to get your buyer. You want to agree with the price with your buyer. Comes to closing, your buyer has that $14,000 check, right? You already posted a check to your seller for the 10. Now you know what I'm saying. Now you collect the difference. You made $4,000, and you married it to. Now the title, the owner, the seller gives you the title. You give that to the buyer. You got a wholesale deal.
Man, y'all better be taking notes, man. Y'all better be taking notes.
Yes, sir.
So what are the steps involved with buying a mobile home?
Yeah, so honestly, the biggest thing is prospecting, finding the mobile homes. I tell people drive for dollars, go get acquainted with the mobile home park manager, reach out to mobile home dealers. But once you find the mobile home, honestly, the easy thing is you want to find out, find out with the county clerk if the taxes is paid up for the home. And then just you want to find out if the title is free and clear, meaning that there's no lien holders on it, making sure that the owner is who they say they are. And from there, man, is that simple. Transaction, give them the money, the bill of sale. Now, all you got to do is go do your title transfer. If you plan on holding onto it, it's literally that simple.
Can you elaborate on that term, lien holder?
Yeah. So what a lien holder is for example, just like a car, right? A mobile home is considered a motor vehicle in most states. So a lien holder, for example, if you purchase a brand new car, right, and let's say you get finance from Ally or something like that, right? They're technically the lien holder. Your name is on the title because it's your car, but they're the person that you're paying until the car is final. So basically, the lien holder is saying, just in case you stop paying, they can retrieve ownership of that car, take you off, and then own the title of the car. Same thing with a mobile home. The lien holder is basically the person that, again, either finance or they have ownership of the actual mobile home until it is paid off and clear.
Makes sense. So I'm sure, when folks hear real estate, they think of a traditional single unit. If you've been listening to my podcast, you should be thinking of duplexes, triplexes, multi-units. But can you tell us the main reasons why my listeners should be investing into mobile homes?
Yeah, for sure. So it's definitely, if you're you're starting out, and again, capital is low, credit may not be as good, this is a great option to not only help people with affordable housing, but it's also just a great way to get your feet wet. I think mobile homes is less risk. So you're thinking about it, you're dealing with let's say 15,000 and under versus 150,000, right? And so it gives you that rep, that same rep. You're still talking to people. You're in the affordable housing sector, and again, it's crazy ROIs, right? I mean, I've seen people. I mean, my average ROI is 150% ROI, and when you put that in perspective, 150% is literally insane. I've had students that you talking about, they bought a mobile home for $6,000, turned around and sold it for $25,000. So just almost quadrupling her return. So it's literally so much opportunity because the value. A lot of people don't value mobile homes, but as an investor, this is what we do. We bring value to it. We understand this is a roof over your head, and it goes a long way.
Okay, so for my young listeners out there, who don't have that $15,000, how can they leverage that credit? Well, how can they get that in credit and then leverage that to accelerate profits in that mobile home game?
Yeah, so you could definitely leverage credit. I know, like, for example, like PayPal. PayPal gives out credit. I think it scores low as like 600. 600. So it's so many different credit, but you can definitely leverage that. Some mobile home parks will take a credit card. There's also, so many people who do credit, they'll teach you how to leverage your credit, where it's, turning that credit to cash, meaning that, if it's a merchant account that you may have or so, let's say you have, $5,000 in credit, you can literally go swipe that into your merchant account, right? It may charge you 5% or so on that money, but now you get to get that cash, get access to that cash, and now you can pay your credit card back monthly, but now you have that leverage to go out there and do some investing with that actual cash from that credit card.
So what are some of the common misconceptions about the mobile home game?
Man, so I think the trailer trash, a lot of the stigmas, when we first got into it, I thought about 8 Mile. I thought about all the stigmas, right? I thought about all that stuff, but in all actuality, a lot of that stuff is, you may see some, but it's not. It's just like the hood, right? A lot of we from the hood, and we know it's not all that bad inside of it, right? We know grandma live over here. We know Miss Jones live over here. She go to church all the time. Just because the D boy may be on the block, that don't mean the whole neighborhood is bad. So it's the same thing with the mobile homes. You're not dealing with racist people. I know some. It depends on where you're going, what parts of the country. You may experience that, but at the end of the day, hey, where you welcome at it, and then you in a hood, so ain't no point in going crazy up in there,
All right, so do you have to deal with like tenants? So what is that like?
Yeah, so what we do rent to own. We don't really do rentals inside of mobile home communities, so we do more so rent to. But the good thing is with our rent to own programs, we allow them to have the home ownership, meaning like I tell people, when you, for example, you're going to get a mortgage, right? You can't go call your mortgage company and say, come fix this stove or anything like that, right? Because you're a homeowner now. And that's what we do with the rent to own. We put the responsibility on our tenants. So the only time that for us, we have to talk to our tenants is if they're not paying rent. And that's very rare. We screen our tenants. We making sure we put the right people inside of our property. So, I think that if anything, we may get a message or so saying that, hey, I may be a few days late on the rent. Yeah, okay, cool. But other than that, we're not handling any major maintenance or anything like that. We had one issue. I think we had sold a young lady a home, and I think within a month, her stove went out. So we went ahead, even though we could have been like, no, that's only, we went ahead and replaced her stove because we still wanted to make the house clean, safe, and functional for her.
Most definitely. So what is the most expensive repair that you had to do for one of these homes? Let's see,
plumbing. So far, the plumbing is the most expensive I've had to do. The roof can be the most expensive, being in a single wide, that $6,000 to $8,000 range, depending if you had to replace the entire roof. But plumbing has cost me $2,000, and again, that's not bad when you look at traditional houses on how much a plumbing job can be.
Okay, so man, I seen that you actually bought some land, and I wanted to tell you congratulations on that. That's amazing, bro.
Thank you.
But I'm asking for me personally, man. How did you do that? Teach me.
It's all about relationships. I talked about it earlier about how Mobile Home Elite has, educating people has really, really, just put us in a position that has put a lot of deals on the plate. And so this particular deal, a park owner, he had saw an interview we had did. And, he was like, man, you really like your stuff. He reached out and was just like, I got a park in Indiana and, I got some spare homes. If you want any homes, I'll give them to you. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. You know, he led with value, like he's going to give me something and just, you know, in return and see what I can do. So we ended up getting really, really cool. And then I had been looking for all of, you know, 2019, beginning of 2020, a few park deals that kind of slipped. And he presented me with a deal that was kind of just like, I couldn't pass up. You know, it was about partnering on this 51 unit mobile home park. We had a single family home in Pittsburgh. And he's just like, hey, listen, I'll quarterback the entire deal because I know you guys are new to this. And, you know, I'll teach you guys, you know, everything step by step. And I'm just like, yeah, that's a no-brainer. So, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, most people don't realize when it comes to mobile home parks, the best place to get a loan is a small bank or credit unions. Those two are going to be your best bet. Like the larger banks, they're looking for larger transactions, right? They're looking for that skyscraper to when you know. But those smaller banks love to invest because a mobile home park is a safe bet. Throughout COVID, storage facilities and mobile home parks were the two best performing real estate vehicles that were out there. And so, you know, once we were able to secure our loan, you know, we went ahead and gathered up our 20%. And that's for most mobile home parks. You have to at least come up with 15 to 20% down. So you can either syndicate that, or if you have investors, you can definitely do that. But once we was in the clear, man, closing, we had to push back closing, I think twice. But, you know, again, you know, making sure, you know, getting our paperwork right to form an LLC. You know, we had to do our homework as far as on a municipality, and because that's the one thing too. If you're buying a mobile home park, you want to be able to go meet who's in office, because they can either be your best friends or your worst enemies. Okay. And the reason why is because sometimes people, they don't like mobile home parks. Sometimes they feel it brings the value down to their city. So they may not be on the side. So if you come in there and, you know, you own a park and you're not really doing the upgrades that they want, or, you know, you want to listen to what their request is, you know, you want to basically get on the same page. And that was some of the part of the legwork too. And so, you know, honestly, you know, once you kind of secure that, you build the relationships in the city, you secure the financing, you secure your investors, man, from there, you know, what I love about mobile home parks, it's a full acquisition. So it's not just us buying the land, we're buying the business as well. Meaning we're buying, it comes with the park managers, the maintenance, everything that comes with it, that's what we're purchasing as well. And if it's not broke, you're right, like I said, what is it? If it ain't broke, you know, don't fix it. So, you know, the same thing here. And then we come in there and just see what, you know, upgrades that we can do. And with us having the platform that we have, we're able to, you know, fill up the vacancies and just turn into a great community.
So can you give us some tips on negotiating and how important negotiation is in these deals?
Yeah, for sure. So, you know, I learned from an old mentor. He said, say a number that scares you. And I used to be like, yeah, and again, he said the reason why, because it helps you work your way up, right? And you go in there and you say it with a stern face. And at the end of the day, they're going to say no. I think most people, what happens when negotiating, when you hear no, they take that as almost as something with them, right? They take it personal, but they just answered your question, right? Or whatever that is. So, you know, you definitely want to just go in there, but just be confident. You know, be confident. You know, if you walk away without a number, that's okay. You know, you can definitely come back to it, but, you know, don't be scared to negotiate. Don't, you know, if you have a number in your head, get as close as you can with that, but don't walk away feeling like you got screwed over.
So can you elaborate on the term tenant turnover?
And so really, you know, tenant turnover is, you know, when you have a tenant leave, you know, with not within the, you know, the term lease. For example, if you have a year lease with them and, you know, they leave in month 8th and now you got that vacancy, right? It's empty. And so, you know, the biggest thing, you know, especially in mobile home parks, you do have that tenant turnover. You do have evictions at the end of the month. You do have people moving out. And so you always, marketing is huge in this business. You always want to keep marketing. You always want to make sure you're putting those homes in front of people's face to get new tenants in there. So that way, you know, just if you have that tenant turnover or you know your tenant is leaving in advance, you can start marketing their place.
Okay. So can you talk to us about how having a strong mindset is so important?
Oh yeah. Listen, mindset is everything, you know, in anything, business, you know, anything, sports. You know, anything you do in life, relationships, mindset is huge, because the thing is, some people forget they start to live up here and not really living here in the present. And our mind is so strong that it can, thinking about it, people can become depressed. People can, be, super all into them. It's so many levels of what the mind can do. So the word mindset is setting your mind to be able to perform at your best ability. And so really, I tell people, this is one of your biggest muscles right here is your mind. And so you got to strengthen it every day. You got to, get your reps up, mentally, because you'd be surprised that when it comes to pressure or it comes to those moments where it can be very, very stressful, if that muscle was already there, you're going to handle it different. You're not going to let it get to you. Whereas, some people may fold or crumble, but no, you're going to be ready. And honestly, it'll just be another task for you.
Big facts. So let's touch back on that personal development. Why do you believe that's so critical?
Man, you know what? I think it's so critical because everybody wants to be the best version of themselves. I think, nobody really doesn't want to. I think what happens is we begin to worry or we begin to create a story on what we're lacking or who, where we're not able to do. And the reason why, again, that personal development, because you want to develop into the person that who you really are destined out to be. And so, again, that's practice. Personal development, I think I love how you talked about earlier, play football, but, we got to go to practice. I play basketball. We got to go to practice because if we don't practice when it comes to the game, we're not going to know what we're doing, right? We're not going to be in sync with our teams. We're not, and that's the same thing with personal development. If you want to be around high performing people, you got to be able to bring something to the table. And so, if you're able to perform at a high level, if again, when it comes to the personal development, if you're feeding yourself, if you're creating the habits, if you're breaking bad habits, right, and replacing with new habits. So now, when you get around these high performing people, you get around the people that you really want to be around. You stand out and you also bring value to those people.
We all ain't Allen Iverson. We got to practice, man. So can you talk to us about the term monetizing your genius? What does that exactly mean? Oh, man.
I love that term, man. I got that from, shout out Jay Jones, man. He was a brother. I used to listen to his podcast when I was doing a lot of driving for Lyft. And he used to always talk about monetizing your genius. And it really stuck with me because there's so much that we know that people come to us and they may see that either we're the expert or they see that like, hey, you know how to do this well, or it's something that we've been doing, like we do it like second nature. We just do it good. We do it better than others. And people want to learn how to do that. Like we're in an information age, and I tell people like information is the new dope. Like, right? Like people, you got so many people that will just watch YouTube all day, every day to try to learn much stuff as they can. Even, and hopefully they don't have analysis paralysis, but at the same time, they just taking the information to better themselves because it's readily available. And so the biggest thing about monetize your genius is what do you know and what can you add value to the marketplace that people may not be your friends or family, but it may be somebody you can help over in Africa. You can help somebody you help in Iowa or Wyoming that you may never have met, and they can utilize the information. So it's packaging that up, whether it's an ebook, it could be a course, a podcast, it could be whatever it is that that you put together for the people, And now you're able to definitely, put that out, monetize it, get paid for that, whether it's speaking or whatever that is. But, you're adding value and you're getting paid to do so.
Facts. So especially in this social media age we live in now, it's so easy. It's like you said, to reach out to somebody in Africa or Iowa, wherever you at, you could be reached.
Facts.
So what advice do you have for inspiring entrepreneurs listening to this podcast right now?
So, man, first and foremost, you're already doing the right thing. You're listening to a value-packed podcast. You're tuning in. You want more. The biggest thing is, like Nipsey Hussle, it's a marathon. It's a marathon. So you start to really to just start getting, catch your pace. And things won't come overnight, right? But long as you know you putting in the work, long as you know you're doing the things, and you're gonna adjust, right? Because when you see things that may not work, you can make an adjustment. Continue meeting new people, even on your path, because every part of the journey you're gonna meet people that are gonna add value to you, right? Because sometimes what happens is we want to go straight to the top, right? We want to go to the person like, oh man, you know what? I need to go talk to Eric Thomas because he on right now. I need to go talk to him. And it's like, maybe start with somebody who's been speaking, who's been getting paid to speak, and that, you know what I'm saying? And then that, like things like that. So the biggest thing I want to tell you is just know that it's not gonna come tomorrow, but just continue and don't give up. The worst times when it feel like nothing is shaking and you got voices in your head saying that, hey man, this ain't working, or other people telling you it's not working, but they're not doing anything, just keep going.
Man, can you tell us how big of an effect our habits have on our lives?
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta think about it. Like if I smoke cigarettes every day for the next 20 years, I put myself in a position I can have lung cancer, or I can, it could be very detrimental, and that's with anything, right? So for example, if I work out every day, you're going to see the results in my body. If I eat healthy every day, you're going to see the results in my body. That's with anything you do. So if you're reading every day, you're going to see the results in your conversation, and when you bringing value. If you're every day you're working on your craft, you're going to see the results from there. So that's the biggest thing, just the consistency of that.
Okay. So assets and liabilities, man. How important is it to seek out income generating assets?
Man, so look, I love it because assets, is one of those things where if you do the work up front, it can pay you forever. And when you own assets, tangible things, when you have, things that, down the line that appreciate in value, meaning like, I tell my young listeners, look, imagine if you bought, for example, if you bought a retail Jordan or the Bred 4s, you bought them for $220. Now you turn around, Last Dance came out, and now they, depending on what your size, they $415. Yeah. That shoe went up in value. That was that asset. So now playing on a high level, when you talk about real estate, right, you're buying a building that it appreciates in the neighborhood. So you bought it at $150. Now 5 years down the line, it's valued at $250. Right, you made $100,000 in that. So it ended liabilities, right? When you think about liabilities, we think like, okay, what is liability? A gym shoe can be a liability unless you wearing them. A lot of us, we buy the most expensive things that we buy, whether it make it be Gucci, Louis, we wear those the least, right? And then the most cheapest thing we buy, we wear that the most. Meaning it should be a little bit backwards. I mean, we should be wearing it, because sometimes we afraid of people like, oh, he got that Louis belt on all the time. But no, you paid $400 for it, so you should wear that Louis belt every day. Okay. So but again, when it comes to liability, is it gonna make you money? And people can be liabilities, right? Some fellas, my young fellas, you could be dating a liability. You going on dates all the time, and you chasing tail, right? And you chasing that, and you realizing like, okay, I'm not even getting that. That's a liability, bro. Like, what I'm saying? So, you definitely got to be aware of, what's costing you money but not making you no money in the long end.
Man, so why do you believe financial literacy is so critical for young folks and really anybody?
Man, learning the language of money, man. Learning just it is like a different language, and it is critical because unfortunately, with our community, we're marketed to spend. Our music tells us to spend, right? Commercials tell us to spend. Our friends tell us to spend. Everything is spend. And the good thing, we have a voice now to say invest, but it's not normal. It's still new to us. And so it's just basically changing that narrative. But if you now are at an age where you've been, spend, and you have the ability to start to invest, your kids, you're going to put yourself in a position that the next generation is going to be a huge wealth generating generation. But it's unfortunate, as much as we continue to spend, that's what makes us the consumers in the country, and makes us, we spend what is, I forgot how many trillions of dollars we put into the economy, but we're only 17% of the population. But if we change that narrative, we can give much more respect, like, a lot of the counterparts and other minority groups.
So what do you believe the best way for our listeners to become fly? And by fly, I mean financially literate and invested.
Yeah, so really start following the people that speak your language, right? The people that you can relate to, like, again, like this Fly podcast. Like, definitely tune in, keep on, listening and email them, send them questions, get engaged. The people that you have on it, make sure you follow them as well. And just continue, just engulf yourself with the information. Ask questions, do the research, right? We know right now everything is turning to online schooling. So, you have the ability to now push yourself, because the curriculum at school is not going to tell you this, but now you can really create your own school, and schools become a la carte. And so this is the valuable information. This is a little bit more valuable than those prerequisites and those classes that you taken that you have no interest in. This is the classes that can make you millions and millions of dollars.
Facts. Big facts. So I got 2 more questions for you. So my first question is, man, just give us some general advice for young people that are listening right now. Just some general advice that you wish somebody would have told you when you was younger.
Yeah. You don't have to do the traditional life, right? I know our parents and our family or friends may want what's best for us. But if in your heart you know you want more than what it is, it's okay to tell them and share with them, right? Certain things that you really want to live your life and understand that who your identity is, and you're going to change. You're going to change throughout the path. You're different in who you were when you were 10. You're different when who you are 15. You're different when you're 20. You're going to be different when you're 25. So just being okay with that and just continue to evolve, but really just knowing who you are and not living for other people. We have friends, we love our friends, but don't live for your friends. Live for you, and it's okay. People may, you acting funny. It's okay because you're putting you first. And here's the thing: when you put you first, you're able to show up for everybody else. When you're most happiest, you're able to go around, and then you're going to start noticing, man, somebody, he always negative, but she always negative. And then from there, you have the choice to be able to say, okay, do I want to be around new people, put myself around new people, or do I still want to be able to do that? How am I evolving, within this? And that's the biggest thing. You always want to keep evolving. And one more last thing I want to tell you, as you're on this journey, you're going to have people that always want to keep you down and put you, where you were, where you once were, right? Let's say, I'm gonna give you an example. Let's say you were geeky in high school, right? You was kind of geeky, but you went to college, and now you broke out of that shell. Somebody in high school, I remember when you was geeky. Listen, that's who you were then. Don't fall to it. Don't dumb yourself down to please people or anything like that. Continue being your highest and best version of yourself.
Man, I know a lot of people going through them situations that you just said, having to put themselves first without being called selfish. That's a very thin line for some people. So I'm definitely glad you touched on that, man. So my last question for you is, I'm going to read to you 2 quotes, and you got to tell me, in your opinion, which quote is more accurate. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, bet. So my first quote is, money can't buy happiness. And my second quote is, more money, more problems. Which one is more accurate in your opinion?
Man, the money can't buy happiness. It's gonna give you a lot of great moments, right? You travel, you can buy this, buy that, and whenever you buy something, that moment of when you purchase it that's the joy of it, right? Even though you may look at it in your closet, but wearing it the first time. But again, that goes away. That same feeling when you bought in things, that's not gonna be that way 2 weeks later. And so, you really got to be happy within. You gotta find your happiness before you make money, or even when you're making some money. You got to find what that happy place is for you. So if anything goes, you have that. And I think that you see that success. A lot of people chase that money and they get everything, and it's just like, okay, well, this is cool and all, but what's next? And they don't know what that eternal happiness is. So you definitely want to have that, because like the other quote, more money, more problems. I think that, if you're not even managing your happiness, that's when the problems can come. But, some people look at it as problems. I look at it as just going to be more so you're going to have more people trying to take that great energy that you have to get some of that energy, right? From that more money, more problems. And I think that's what most people, definitely rappers, because, think about it. If you're the one that made it, more people looking at you to, hey, can you give? Nah, if you want to shoot with me in the gym, I can't give you nothing. If you ain't mama, pops, you know what I'm saying? I can't give you. I can put you on game, but I can't give you anything.
Man, I appreciate your time, man, and thanks for joining us on FY Fly the podcast. Let the audience know where to reach you. And any final words, man? Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. So definitely want to make sure you follow our business page at Mobile Home Elite Investors. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, MH Elite Investors. As well, you can follow my personal page on Instagram at Byron Sellers. So it's S for my middle initial. Same thing on Facebook. It's actually Coach Byron Sellers on Facebook. Follow the Facebook page, like it as well.
Like I said, man, I appreciate you for coming here, man. I hope y'all wrote down some notes, because I know I did.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you having me, King.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So now we're going to take it back to Remy G and me for one of our favorite segments called Did You Know? Let's go. Welcome back to FY Fly the podcast. And y'all already know what time it is. Or maybe y'all don't, but me and Mr. Make a Play finna let y'all know. Did you know 22 million people live in mobile homes?
Did you know, since 1976, the proper term for a mobile home is manufactured home?
Did you know 66% of new manufactured homes are placed on privately owned lots, not mobile home parks?
Did you know, mobile home buyers save over 40% on housing costs compared to traditional home buyers?
Did you know 19% of all houses in South Carolina are mobile homes?
Did you know, 39% of millennials didn't know about mobile homes?
In conclusion, for all my fly folks still locked in with us, we hope y'all enjoyed all the gems our guy B. Sellers dropped. Man, is really one of the true goats out here in this financial literacy game. Now, I ain't never met the dude, but I can tell from a few conversations and really watching him blow up, he's still the same dude, but evolved into a better version of himself.
Hey, bro, didn't he make $1 million last year?
Yeah, bro, and that was just on selling courses. Ain't no telling what he did in his mobile home business. Bro probably going crazy.
Yeah, that's what that hard work and consistency will do for you.
Facts, G. But go ahead and give him a little recap of what we learned today, Mr. Make a Play.
I got you. So today we learned why a mobile home investment can be a good play. 1, it's cheaper than traditional real estate investing. 2, it's definitely less competition. 3, you ain't got to clean up after nobody, much less maintenance. But there were some downfalls, like possible depreciation of your mobile home, possibility of having to purchase the mobile home and the land, and last but not least, the limited financing options, depending on whether your home is classified as a real property or personal property.
Appreciate you, General. So for our takeaway items, because you know we can't leave y'all without them, be sure to look into the mobile home investor game. It's a whole movement out here. We just got to get hip on it. And then I need y'all out there to really think about what you can change from a liability to an asset. And remember, an asset is something that is adding money to your pockets, and a liability is something that's taking away money from your pockets. So that's it from the FY Fly guys, man. Y'all stay safe,
Stay invested.
and stay fly.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guest. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.
But don't y'all go anywhere just yet. Stay tuned, as each week here on FY Fly, we like to give an independent artist a place to shine and gain some exposure. And this week we have Thinking About It by Joseph Isaiah. Let's go.
Yes, sir. We checking. I'm just thinking about it.
Just give y'all a front row seat into the mind of a movie. You feel? That's all it is.
I'm just thinking about it.
A movie.
Whole lot of God flows though.
A lot up on my mind and I'm just thinking about it.
Thinking about
That
it.
paper on my mind and I'm just thinking about it.
Just thinking about it.
Little baby on my mind, I hope she thinking about
She
me.
thinking about me.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
Joseph,
hope
I
she
like
thinking
this.
about me.
Late nights in the booth, just living in all my truths. Cause that pressure been all on me. But it's cool cause I put it there. Just gotta stay solid, can't fall, homie. I can't rock with the bottom at all, homie. So flipping this paper is definite. If it ain't by the bag, it's irrelevant. I've been stuck in that mode lately, and I probably won't never